This is
Don't worry.
prelims, so we
Yeah,
can let it play.
preseason and stuff like that. It's all good. And then Baron will probably leave it at that. But we are going to go into game two here. It's still Team RS versus Team Stoic. Boo is the Team RS player. Drumz for Team Stoic. So this was set up by the manager from Team RS, as they are the home team today. So basically picking the matchups and have the players set up here. We are going to see a TVT going back to Zelnaga Caverns, as these are the best of ones. A little bit of lag from you, Basement.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. So there we go. So getting into the game, we have Boo for Team RS spawning in the northern position as the green Terran, and in the southern position, Drumz from Team Stoic as the orange Terran. So again, this is the Cal Professional, not Cal, sorry, this is the CEVO Professional League taking over for the mighty position that Cal left there. But CEVO Professional League for StarCraft 2, this is basically, like you were mentioning, the preseason games. I think this is the second game for both teams, actually. So just getting a feel for it. These are best of one games at the moment. The rules kind of have been adjusted as we've been going along. The map pool has changed, as well as the format will be a best of three for each matchup in the teams. And the team style is actually a little different than the standard clan war. They basically have 4 players each. The home team, the designated home team, will decide the matchups, and basically each player will play their matchup against their opponent, and if it ends up in a 2-2 tie, there will be kind of a playoff, a best of 3 playoff. If not, one team will take it 3-1 or 4-0, basically. So that's the format for CEVO. It's a different format, but I think it's a more unique one. It's going to give players kind of just a little chance to have the coaches metagame a little bit. I'm thinking it'll get a lot more competitive as we see the seasons go on and more players get scouted out and the ladder resets and all that goes, of course. This is Ice from L2SC TV, and I'm joined by Bynum from L2SC TV.
Yep. And glad to be here, of course. And it's something I just noticed here on Boo's base, which is our green Terran player. He is walling in, which is an interesting thing to note because most players will not wall in when they're facing against another Terran player because of the fact that you'll have the siege tanks, and if you have any sort of air units next to those siege tanks can shell this no problem. So the first thing that comes to mind is that Boo is banking on the fact that he doesn't want to be scouted, and he's probably going to go for some sort of tech or some sort of rush build. So it's either way. And you see he Drums here being rejected of his scout. He is going to know that a tech lab is out for this barracks. So he will know that either Marauders or something like the sort.
Reaper,
oh, no, Reaper's coming in for Boo. So not really hiding that, but I'm pretty sure what he's going to be doing with this Reaper is he's going to try and delay any sort of tech or any sort of stuff from Drums, as Drums is going to be distracted with that Reaper, and just give Boo that little bit of an advantage so he can get out that extra tech. He does only have 1 gas right now, so I'm still thinking, okay, what is he about to do? He has 400 minerals saved up. That's a lot of minerals to be saving up. So now I'm scratching my head. There we go. Okay, he is going for an expansion.
Wow. Very early expansion.
Very strange build here from Boo. Going for a wall-in fast expand.
Yeah, so very unique Terran build here versus another Terran, as you mentioned. Terrans have no problems dealing with walls, not even siege tanks, but Marines on the low ground can be parked at the bottom of the wall there, and all you need is just 1 Marine to reach the top there. 2 more racks going down for Boo, so he's sticking to one of those kind of mineral-heavy builds. Is not much gas, no second gas being thrown down. 1-1-1 for his opponent here, the Orange Terran Drums. So we'll see what he does there, as the Reaper is going to reach the high ground. Drums has not seen it, but they will see the starport. Will not be able to squeeze by. He can squeeze by the starport. So catches 2 SCVs in his kind of pass through there. So another one falls. Marines from Drums chasing this. No units out right now that can really handily deal with the Reapers. The Marines can as well, but definitely fall quite fast, as you saw there. The Reaper does get 4 kills, 3 on the base and 1 on the Watchtower SCV, as Boo is kind of just denying the expansion here from Drums right now, and he's going to hold the westernmost Watchtower, as Boo is just doing his best just to get some bio up. Pre-igniter started here for Drums, so I'm expecting a Hellion drop here to kind of counter that wall. If you're going to wall in and fast expand, Hellions are a great way to stop that and shut that down pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like Boo's going to be concentrating on a little bit of early pressure, as he has 3 Raxes here, going to be building 1 Marauder and 2 Marines out of the 2 other Raxes. And he's also going to be expanding, so I think he's really banking on the fact that he wants to make sure that Drumz stays as far behind as possible, so that when he can get that fast expand saturated, but it doesn't get scanned here by Drumz. So that's one thing that you have to note about Terran players, that they have their scan ability, which will reveal anything in your base. But yeah, I think Boo's trying to get this natural saturated as soon as possible. He wants to delay anything coming out of Drumz, but unfortunately Drumz does have a plan of his own. He does have pre-igniter almost completed there. One Hellion, 2 Hellions already, and I don't even know if he'll wait for all 4. He might decide just to load up some Marines, load up these 2 Hellions, and go right for it, as Boo really doesn't have too much. He does have those 3 Marauders, which would be great against the Hellions, but they are quite severely out of position. So a good medevac drop in the back of the mineral line should do plenty of damage, and you can just pretty much escape to the natural or escape southwards, and you should be pretty fine.
It looks like he's just going to push into this, though. Going to have to deal with the Marauders. He doesn't really have any anti-heavy here, but with pre-igniter, he's going to toast those Marines, no problem, and just rely on his own Marines. Stim almost complete for Boo, so when this bunker gets finished, it's going to really, really stop the plan of Drumz, I think, as there go the Hellions getting loaded up there, getting rallied to the bottom. Does get scouted by Boo, so he's going to move small bio-army back there, get a turret started at the easternmost part of the base. The Hellions do unload, but do get denied for the most part by the Marines there. Got to be really careful with that medevac. He is going to draw up again. Going to lose the Hellions, though, as the Marauders are easily able to clean those up. Medevac's going to get out of there just safely. Drumz did poke the front there of Boo, noticing that it was stopped there. Boo really late moving that command center over. I think it trained some SCVs possibly first before getting in there, but he is going to get his command center over. Drumz doing the exact same thing, so Drumz actually not falling behind in terms of the economy fast expand there. Boo does have a little bit of an army lead, as there is about basically a food difference. Let me just check that right now. About 10 food difference here in the favor of Boo, and his primarily bio army is the 1-1-1 build for Drumz. Does leave you a little production shy. Siege tanks coming out for right now for Drumz, and siege mode half complete, so he will be able to transition onto a siege tank build there, no problem. Boo is going to try to poke in here, though, and he does have Drumz right now at a small disadvantage, as there's only about 3 Hellions, 2 of them still in the medevac, and the 1 siege tank without siege mode, so it's going to cost Drumz at least a few SCVs and possibly a Hellion or 2 at the trade of Boo's pretty mobile bio force right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really good attack here from Boo. A great timing attack. He knew exactly what Drumz was doing. He had that Reaper on early, so he knew that there was a starport there, and I think that's what really killed Drumz right now, is he went for that extra tech when he really couldn't afford it, especially, and Boo just took advantage of that. He already had the production facilities to handle his increased production rate, so all he needed to do is smack on a couple attachments onto those production facilities, and bam, he had his standing army in a couple of minutes. And he was able to go and do a great push here. But siege tank tech is finished here for Drumz. So I think he could have been a little bit more aggressive and taken out a little bit more. But it looks like he's just going to bank on the fact that I've been saying bank on so many times. But he's going to hope that his fast expand pays off in the end. As I think he was using mules for that, which kind of explains of the difference between food levels, because back when I was checking the food levels, there was about 32 harvesters to 32, and Boo was considerably farther ahead in terms of army. So I guess that orbital command was using mules quite well, but as soon as it landed, it did drop 2 mules, so I'm not exactly sure on that. So we'll just have to keep a little bit more of an eye on things as the game goes on, because you don't want to miss anything.
Yeah, no, totally. It looks like Drumz, both players kind of evening up the resource count. There was a small lead there, as Boo did have his expansion saturated, whereas Drumz had to obviously lift his command center. Boo has cleaned out the gold expansion for him in front of his natural, so he will begin on that. Double medevac coming out for Boo, so he does have the reactor. That factory built a reactor for him, so he is going to start double factory tech here and get his own siege tanks up, as he is on basically 5 racks on his main platform there. 3 tech labs, 2 reactors, a pretty significant production facility set up for, obviously, Boo. He has taken about a 20, and exactly a 20 food lead now on his opponent, Drumz. Drumz has a pretty ditched in. He's got about 5 tanks here, so a little bit more heavy artillery here than his opponent, Boo, but Boo definitely not going to fall behind there. He has double factory, double tech lab set up. Still only 4 production for Drumz, 1 factory, 1 starport with reactors. So production-wise, Boo's going to have a little bit of advantage here. Strength-wise, right now it's in the favor of Drumz. So there's going to be a little engagement at the southern part of the goal here. Boo's army in about half health, so and Drumz with significant medevac. Actually, he does snipe the tanks, though. The only thing left are the Marauders here for Boo's army, so he does actually do a good job of sniping out those tanks. That was all the tanks for Drumz there. No siege there, so that's really, I think it might have been of a blunder here as Boo was getting kind of repelled by the single Viking of Drumz here. He is going to push into the front, though, knowing that, yeah, all the tanks are down, and there's only 1 right now. He's going to get it. 2 more tanks coming down. They all die. No siege shots there, so Drumz getting, basically losing 8 siege tanks to just out of position, no siege mode. Getting kind of a marauder battle here with medevac. This could last a long time here at the front of the base here as Boo does retreat first. I guess his medevac still are getting lower on energy, so Drumz does repel the push, but loses significant firepower, and that he is going to lose a little bit of the tank advantage now as Boo is able to produce quite a bit more tanks than he is. Drumz is increasing his production by adding 2 more barracks, so he's going to be on 6 racks pretty shortly, but still only 1 factory, 1 starport, and the Viking does get cleaned up before sniping into the medevacs. So looks like Drumz is going to get a little bit ahead of him in terms of the production or resource production, as he is getting that the 3rd base started on the low ground, not able to clear the rocks out yet, as Boo is going to try to set up some tanks. He's going to get them up, going to get a couple of shots here, and it's going to cost Drumz just 1 fight, as he does have his own tank in there. Just going to be a little bit of a Mexican Terran standoff here as both players rallied in a little bit deep. Going to back off and just try to push the tank lines a little bit now as both players. Drumz going to actually back off his bio army, going to cost him his tank. Actually, got to be really careful about that. Also baiting the army of Drumz back in, so taking some pretty significant fire damage now as Boo is pushing in. Tank's getting flanked here by another Viking that just landed, actually, I believe here. So some mules coming into repair for Boo as he is rejoined by the rest of his bio production. So we're going to see here if Boo can break in as he is pushing his tank line quite a bit in further as Drumz is trying to get around target fire on the tanks. Gets 1 of them, but Boo has a significant bio army left, and he is going to chew up the rest of Drumz' army, and there's going to be a good game from Drumz there.
That was a big blunder there from Drumz when he had the tank